Hello, my friends. Today I'm going to come clean as a less than average sax player, just absolutely not that great. However, I have something that can help clean up my act. It's called Suno. Now, don't hate on me. I'm still practicing. I haven't quit on my sax playing. But over here, I have a very ill saxophone, and I don't mean in a good way. This saxophone is a Mendini. Now, those of you Yanni Gisawa owners, you're probably going to laugh hearing that. You're going to be like, yeah, which brand is that, Phil? That's some quack brand. Well, I actually got this off Amazon, and it was good for a while until it fell. And ever since it fell, it has had a very, very poor tone. And coupled with my rather average playing, I should say less than average playing, it sounds awful. But today in Suno, I'm going to show you how you can take an average sounding less than average. Let me be very clear, because my sax teacher will just shake his head. Less than average sax player and a deplorable sounding soprano saxophone, and we're going to make something great out of it in Suno. Okay? This is one of the repair functionalities of Suno. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to bring up Nero Wave Editor, because I have learned, I've been burned before in Suno. I have made audio prompts that didn't get saved, and that was it. It just vanished. So I am going to use Nero Wave Editor to record part of my performance, just in case something happens. And I'm also going to record directly into Suno. And then I've got my keyboard here, my Go Keys 5. So I'm going to play my Go Keys 5, just put on some accompaniment, and we're going to see what we can get out of it. So let's get rolling. All right, so we're going to hit record. I'm going to hit the record button over here as well. Say record. Okay, it's recording. And it's recording here as well when I hit this. absolutely despicable. However, let's go ahead and hit save. And let's see. Cover. I don't think this is what it should have called my recording though. That's very odd. Okay, let's go ahead and hit continue. Let's check it out. No, that's not what I just recorded. Oh my goodness. What is happening with Suno? This is the second time it has failed to record my track. Let's go back to create. Wow. Do you see? This is why you back up what you're doing. Otherwise, I would have lost my... It's a substandard performance, but I would have lost it all. But now, I have it. See? Yeah, you know, I know it's not that great, but still, you gotta keep what you did, because you just never know what you're gonna get out of it, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Let's go ahead and save it, and then I'm going to move this into Suno. All right, now I am going to select the track, and I just called it Poor Sax Player. Now, Poor Sax Player shows that it's trying to upload. I'll hit save, cover. I'm going to wait for this thing to get to the end because, you know, these days, I don't know with Suno, sometimes it doesn't do a good job saving. Okay, seems like it did. Okay, I'm gonna hit continue. Now I've got my despicable track. It says featuring a single clarinet playing. It thinks it's a clarinet. It's not a clarinet, it's a soprano sax. A very poor sounding one. So we're gonna make it an instrumental track. And then the style, I'm gonna say bebop 1965, fast and frenzied, avant-garde, at times going out, syncopated melody and back-in band, trumpet, bass, drums, piano, punchy drums, brushes for verses, syncopated call response. All right, we're gonna put some audio influence up, because I still want the character and the spirit of the playing, even though the saxophone isn't that great and it's playing totally off tune, and my playing isn't as great either. To put it politely, it's really very bad playing. But Poor Sax Player, let's say Guru Avant Sax. Your mind is going to be blown when you see how this lackluster your mind will be blown. Anyway, I've done enough advertising. Let's go ahead and hit remix. Be prepared to have your mind absolutely blown. Are you ready? Okay. Let me shut up and you can listen. You can be the judge whether my plane was transformed or not. Let's go. Got the key. That is ill. That's a 5-minute track right there from all the mumbo jumbo I played. Let's take a listen to this one. That was crazy, but that was really interesting. I'm gonna keep that prompt. That prompt could come in handy. So when you couple a prompt with music, you get, again, this is how to get so many great variations to whatever you're doing. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna say soprano, sax, solo, and I'm gonna say Afro vibe, pentatonic, avant-garde. I'm gonna say this was around the late 60s. Okay, so I'm gonna cut that prompt out. I'm gonna say 1969 Guru. Let's have a remix, And then I'm going to take all this out and I'm going to say 1980s trad modern. Actually, let me just go modern. Modern jazz sound modal syncopated. Okay, I'll just call this modal master. So this is going to be fun, but let's take a look and see what it's done with my 1969 request. I wish. Now, what is interesting is it is channeling a lot of the poor playing, but channeling the energy, but not the notes. Check it out. So it's channeling the energy, just not the horrible notes. Check it out. This is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. My lackluster playing, and look at what it did with it. The next thing I'm going to do is play something more contemporary. Oh, I still have modal master to do. Let me do modal master and see what happens. We'll see what this does. And in addition to the modal master, I'm going to do something a little bit more on the contemporary side. So let me bring up my Nero Wave Editor again, because it's a great example of how you want to save whatever you prompt audio-wise, because I've been burned in the past, been burned again today. No sax yet. No sax in this one. Okay, all right. So we got some sax in there, not bad. Okay, Well, let's go ahead and play something on the contemporary side and get the show on the road. Again, another instance where I will get rid of the previous thing, audio, record. I'm going to get my backup in there. I've been burned before. Not going to let it happen this time. Record, and that, and that, and away we go. Let's record. All right. Very dubious performance indeed, but we got it. I'm gonna hit save, wait for that to load, and I'm going to save my backup on Nero as well, just in case. Let's actually listen. So, you know, I might just need to save it. You just never can tell. You never can tell. All right, let's hit save. All right, now here's another example. I think I need to report this to Suno because it's becoming more rampant. So I created a video about this today, but it's becoming rampant. This is the third time I'm facing upload issues from something I recorded directly in Suno. I've also found that when you stray away from the Suno page, it seems to take even longer to get to the end. But I'm going to give it some time and see if this eventually does get to the end. Let's hope it does. Now, even though I've got a backup, you know, I still need to let Suno know that this is failing for people. Anyway, let's give it some time. Okay, so I did persevere, and it shows uploaded. But normally what it would do is it would timestamp what was uploaded, and I would see a name here. I'm seeing that Suno is taking its time and doing that today. So I don't know why it's doing that, but let me go ahead and hit continue. Hopefully it will pop up. So it hasn't popped up. This could be a bigger issue. You know, sometimes you would give it another few seconds and it will show up here. Let me do a quick refresh. Since it actually showed uploaded, I'm guessing it might have uploaded, but it didn't. See, this is why you need to back up your work. So I'm going to upload my backup. I'm going to upload this track, sax contemp, say save, cover. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with that pink bar. Hopefully it goes all the way to the end. All right, my friends, this is why you want a backup. You see my backup has saved me again. I'm going to hit continue. This is it. Okay, so again, we're going to make it instrumental. I'm going to say contemporary, smooth, jazz, punchy drums, melodic vibe, electric piano, drums, bass. Okay. So I'm going to put the audio influence up, style influence all the way up, and yep, contemporary sax remix. Let's go ahead and hit remix, and let's see what happens with this remix of my gobbledygook. Because you gotta understand it's an off-key sax. As a result of its fall, the notes are totally poor. But let's see what we got this time. Okay. Not bad. Let's check this one out. Yeah, it's actually playing in a similar register that I was. So it's done quite a good job. So I'm going to put one more prompt in here. Same audio prompt, just a slightly different word in here. I'm going to say 2010 Jazz Cruise Vibe. That's the title, okay? And you know, I can actually say live audience reaction. Cheers. Cheers in the background. Just for giggles. Let's see if it obeys today, because it normally does. I'm going to crank this up to 100 and see what happens. So let's hit remix. And let's see what Pandora's box spits back. All right, it's taking its time. So in just a few prompts, I've gotten quite a collection here of all sorts of sax playing. Let's check out this one. Let's check this next one. Okay, I mean, this has been fun. I got a lot of mileage out of this. You know, just 3 prompts and so much mileage. That now I want to give you a very quick demonstration of something else I could do. I can actually go in there and remix any of these. Now let me move this to my vocal prompt collection, because I have a whole collection of nothing but vocal prompts. And I normally just put them in there. Here's the other one. Yeah, that will go into my vocal prompt folder. That is how you do it, my friends. You saw I took my very lackluster performance, put it into Suno, and got great mileage and output while putting in an additional, you know, bolstering prompt. So it stayed true pretty much to the tempo and the key, and even chords as I was going through, pretty much, you know, followed the chordal structure. When it came to the improvisation, it stayed in the range, but it seemed to take it up set just so many levels. So for this set of music, for those of you who watch AI Connect Radio, what I do as a curator is curate different tracks, jazz, R&B, hip hop, pop, you name it. And there were 2 days today. Today was rap, and today was also jazz. So you will probably hear some of these on AI Connect Radio. You'll hear the finished product all mastered and equalized and stuff. And if you found pleasure from this, smash the like button and subscribe. And there will be a lot more where this came from. I promise I'll keep showing you the tricks of the trade to getting great output out of Suno. You can see what I did was all based on audio prompts today. Majorly, right? I put in the audio prompt. I helped it a little bit, with the textual prompt, but this is really a direct offshoot of the audio. So even if your audio is crummy and you have a good prompt for the text, you're on your way. All right. Thank you very much, my friends. I look forward to seeing you next time. You take care and bye for now.